Alrighty, yo, what's just going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to react to The Hater's Guide to the Super Bowl. This is by Urinating Tree. Let me go ahead and flip this real quick, because I know my boy Chiseled, he been having problems uploading his game highlight commentaries. And because he been having problems with that shit, I know that the NFL is on that bullshit. I don't know if Urinating Tree has a deal with the NFL, so that's why he gets away with the shit that he can get away with. But it sucks that I don't know. It might be, it may not be. He might be getting the same problems that Urinating Tree might be getting the same problems that Chisel gets. Who knows? Anyway, so without further ado, let's get right into it.
My friends, the season may be coming to an end, but I have a way for our favorite teams to make it to the Super Bowl this year. Listen closely, I can't say it again. 2 words best describe these playoffs. Fuck you. Fuck your feel-good stories. Fuck your narratives. And especially fuck likability.
Facts.
That shit doesn't get you to the promised land. Wins do. It's been a playoffs full of blowouts and humiliation, but it marches on all the same. Nearly everyone's pissed at the outcome. You know what to do. Start mining salt. The least surprising outcome in the world. Fortunately, fluke bullshit and endless chaos could not reign supreme in the AFC. The Steelers in no way, shape, or form belonged here. They had to play perfect football to have a chance, and they didn't. Too many mistakes doomed them against a vengeful fire god, losing to a significantly better team that chose not to toy with their prey. Worst of all, Pittsburgh can simply say this year was successful since they backdoored into the playoffs and were within 1 score at one point. This team cannot stay complacent. Being bailed out by defensive splash plays isn't sustainable. They must be aggressive in the offseason. But knowing how RD2 doesn't like to rock the boat, the Steelers will simply trot out the same shit next year and nothing changes. Great. I can't wait for Mark Whipple to be the O coordinator. I won't believe anything else until I see it happen. The Sharks were smelling a fraud in the water, and their dismantling is a yearly tradition. Dolphins being killed off, vacuum-packed, flash-frozen, and sold off for $10.99 a pound at your local supermarket.
Damn.
Can't beat a competent team not named Dallas, and they can't win shit once December hits. The division hopes going cold results in freezing solid in Kansas City. Negative 30-degree wind chill, which is better than how Miami looked in their wildcard game. They were as beloved as the Peacock broadcast, as lifeless a performance as you'll ever see, flailing around on the ground begging for death. This wasn't even a challenge. They need to ask themselves some serious questions in the offseason. From the offense that lacks an off switch to Tua going limp when it matters to Mike McDaniel morphing into Cliff Kingsbury with every screen pass, is this team going to do anything with this core? If things go south early next year, the axe might start swinging in a hurry. You figured this day would eventually come. The Browns have been ravaged by war casualties and disease, forced to a death march to hostile territory where there were easy pickings for their opponent. The Dark Elves had turned into Smurfs. The magic was gone. Resources simply exhausted. Endgame and unconditional surrender. That vaunted defense could do nothing but bow down to CJ Stroud in amazement. And when he was needed the most, Joe Flacco becometh Joe Flaccid. A throwback to his late-stage Ravens days. Death by back-to-back pick sixes. A bittersweet ending. Even for their unprecedented success, this was the epitome of a lost season. All the injuries ended whatever ambitions they might have had. And with that Watson restructure impending, this might have been their best chance to do something. One thing though, Cleveland. Did you seriously have to lose to the team you gave a fortune to for Deshaun? That honestly might be the thing that stings the most.
Fact.
This game was quintessential Rams football. Put together a spirited contest, take your opponent to the brink, but just don't have enough to seal the deal. The thing is that in different circumstances, maybe with LA as strong as they were 2 years ago, they win this easily. They definitely would have if they managed to convert anything in the red zone. A total goose egg in that regard. So many chances to get revenge for Stafford, yet it's consistently undone. Too many opportunities squandered. Detroit was dying to experience pain, but the Rams just didn't have enough to get it done. Don't blame ref ball, that had nothing to do with it. Besides, you're accusing the refs favoring Detroit? Stop for a moment. Detroit. Be real. The end result, an over 30-year curse for the Lions has been vanquished. Miami, congratulations. You now have the longest playoff win drought in the NFL.
Damn.
Hold it with pride. I said this team sucked in the previous vid. I was being too nice. To simply say the Eagles suck is the understatement of the goddamn decade. They'd lose to the fucking Carolina Panthers as it stands right now. Nothing I say in terms of negative vitriol nor biting snark is justified. They don't deserve it. Blown the fuck out in the most predictable outcome of the weekend. A birth of a meme making the 2020 Steelers look like child's play. A team that couldn't convert a single third or fourth down? Look at this apathetic defense. Absolute fucking trash that even waste management wouldn't touch.
Damn.
Toxic refuse. They're lucky to have only lost by 20. If Bucks receivers could catch, they'd have lost by 20 more. The bald eagle may be off the endangered species list, but the Philadelphia Eagles being tush-pushed to extinction. They seriously gave that fucking hack Patricia real power. If there's any justice in this world, the only thing he'd be manning is a Burger King drive-thru. Philly's already purged Sean Desai and Brian Johnson. So when Sirianni's head getting chopped off, who's ready for the greatest joke in the world? How about them Cowboys?
I'm only laughing at y'all because y'all lost to the Packers. Y'all let me down so bad. Dallas, y'all let me down so bad. Y'all let me down so fucking bad, bro. Dallas, you had one job. One job. One fucking job. Beat the Packers. Anybody but the Packers. I wouldn't even care if y'all went to the Super Bowl. And I'm gonna understand, banana. I wouldn't even care, bro. The fact that y'all niggas literally sat up here and fucking shit the bed. The fact that y'all literally sat here and shit the fucking bed lets me know that y'all ain't shit. Y'all good in the regular season, but y'all can't do shit come postseason. And I really thought y'all was gonna do something because it's the Packers. This should be an easy knockoff. It should be easy for y'all. So warm up. No, you let fucking Jordan Love go crazy on y'all. Dallas, you let me down, bro. I depended on y'all to do one job, and that's get rid of the fucking Packers. Because I hate the Packers more than I hate any other fucking team. And y'all let me down so fucking bad, bro. Fuck you, Dallas. Fuck you.
Oh, it doesn't get old. You got fucking annihilated. Oh, wait. The Cowboys are keeping Mike McCarthy. Even if they predictably lost, the Texans should have absolutely no shame in how this played out.
Not at all.
They kept up with the AFC's best for an entire half. It's just that their flaws became apparent under the assault of Lamar. Their defense is wrecked by injury and their offensive line is just a wreck on top of injury. Spent a long time trying to defy fate itself, but it always comes to collect its due. No one was stopping the Ravens' running game here, to be fair. Lamar Jackson was a man possessed, and the Ravens would have been memed to death if they had lost. I don't think Houston's feeling too bad. Potentially generational QB, a face of the defense in Will Anderson, one of the best head coaches in football. Futures so bright in H-Town we're blinded. Well done, lads. Here's to an excellent season.
Yep.
Keep it up. History repeats itself. Everything had been lining up for the Bills to finally break through and emerge as the elite of the AFC.
Bills.
One of the weakest Chiefs teams in recent memory marching into their home with the power of Peppa Pig and the pit in possession. A heavyweight bout with every opportunity given to Buffalo to win, and they just can't do it.
Not at all.
No matter the situation or advantage, the Bills are simply destined to be a bridesmaid. They spend so much time trying to escape their own incompetence that they can't execute when it matters. Endless chances at life only to rip it away from themselves. A final drive of potential legend with Josh Allen playing fire god all day. Yet he burns himself on 2 deep shots. And then Tyler Bass, the new Scott Norwood, wide right. Another brutal failure. I legitimately don't know what you do. Everything they've tried, wise or foolish, has failed. And with their cap issues and free agents coming up, this might have been backbreaking. Once again, history repeats itself. You had him. It was mostly because Kyle Shanahan keeps butchering a game clock and Brock Purdy missed a bazillion passes, but you had them right by the throat. But alas, the narratives must be maintained.
I was about to cry this game.
49ers treat Green Bay like the Packers treat Dallas. A back-and-forth affair took place and meme potential was truly glorious. However, we can't have 2 weeks of glorious laughs in a row. Going for it on 4th down managed to backfire on them because the Packers special teams giveth, and they more than certainly taketh away. Matt LaFleur should have prayed harder. The coup de grace Vanilla Joe Barry finally returns to deliver soft-serve defense to San Fran so they
I was like, they doing it again.
They
doing it again.
No! Makes Wisconsin heartbroken as he pays homage to Brett Favre to end their season.
But then, he starts throwing the picks. But I said, yeah.
For a supposed rebuilding year, this was outstanding.
Man, anybody but the Packers.
Deserves a reward.
Anybody but the Packers. Fuck the Packers.
Packers Nation won their Super Bowl.
It's personal with me and the Packers.
Another situation where you can't really fault a team for falling short of the main goal. Tampa Bay played hard and it turned into an offensive shootout led by 2 men cast aside by the teams that picked them. Yet at the end of the day, the Lions were simply the better team.
Yep.
No matter what the Buccaneers tried to do to one-up their opponent, it wasn't enough. Baker did well. He's going to earn a lot of money that should have been paid to him by Cleveland. But with their defense unable to stop a tumbleweed, there was no chance in hell. Now the question moves on to Mike Evans. Was this his final game here? Will they get outbid for Baker in the offseason? For a team that had roughly $80 million in dead cap this year, this was a solid showing, but this offseason should be interesting for them. Your punishment is keeping Todd Bowles. Take the playoff win and run with it. You know, I could never escape the feeling that the Ravens were gonna blow it. One of the greatest opportunities in franchise
all they had to do was run the ball.
Next to nothing standing in their way, and all they proceed to do is their specialty. Beating themselves. Kansas City played a solid game, but in response, the Ravens kept chopping themselves off at the knee.
All they had to do was run the ball.
Great running offense going against a mid-tier run defense in the Chiefs, and they only have 8 designed running plays. The horrific lack of discipline and execution was an agonizing sight to behold.
Yeah, that's
all of that hyping for what? Zay Flowers selling the game with a taunting penalty while fumbling the ball at the fucking 1? That's not devastating whatsoever. It'll get overshadowed by Lamar reinforcing every playoff narrative against him on the final 2 drives. Know how they win? By not throwing the game into triple coverage. That's all they did. They panicked and let emotions get the best of them. Again, they've learned nothing. Kansas City just took advantage. Figures they fucked this up. Oh, Detroit, why did you squander such a glorious chance? The Lions were on the brink of bringing us bountiful memes.
Facts.
San Francisco was dead to rights. They had no answers for the Lions' running game. Up 17 at halftime, yet like most players with the football in the second half, they just
Detroit, I was rooting for y'all. I was rooting for y'all.
The catalyst needed was the thing that got them there. Dan Campbell's over-aggression. You live by that sword, it'll be the first thing to kill you. That failure to convert opened the floodgates. Deus Ex Machina landing in the 49ers' lap as everything vanishes in the blink of an eye. Execution, skill, and logic. A complete self-destruction. And all they did was triple down on it. Detroit's down by 3 in the 4th and field goal range? Well, fail it again. It's the razor-thin line of life. If things work out, you're a genius. If not, you have egg on your face. One of the greatest seasons in Detroit's history turns into unspeakable pain. And it's amazing to witness. I do have one question to ask, though. Why did the Lions abandon their running game in the second half? Is the NFL really all that different from the NBA? I could have just said you're fucked to a bunch of franchises and no one would tell the difference. Life does not care for feel-good stories or underdogs. It wants winners. And the team representing the AFC definitely does enough of that. Honestly, I doubt they get back here. The title defense was looking quite perilous at stretches this year. The fault lied at the bread and butter of their success. The offense. The receivers couldn't catch. Everything undone by Kadarius Toney dropping everything, or MVS dropping everything, or someone else dropping everything. You see that stinker they had against the Raiders on Christmas? The offense imploded on itself. The Chiefs were being carried by defense in the strangest twist. Things looked mighty perilous, mostly because of said suspect receivers. When your only truly reliable ones are Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, it would be a climb. Especially with the gauntlet they had to face in the playoffs. So much for that gauntlet. Miami? Well, they were already dead the moment they stepped on the field. Buffalo? You think they're allowed to beat the Chiefs twice in one season? There's no Tony to save them this time. And Baltimore. This is your elite AFC team. Can you stop joking, please? Their sluggish regular season was merely masking their true form. What you get now is Kansas City at their best. Nothing can stop Patrick Mahomes at his peak. Systematically dicing his opponents with an elusiveness rivaling the Zodiac Killer and efficiency equaling him. Death-defying throws, frustrating defensive coordinators everywhere. The dream quarterback. And one that every franchise has been trying to replicate ever since. His chemistry with Travis Kelce is second to none. Backyard football with a regimented, cold-blooded flair. When they're clicking, no scheme nor personnel can hold them back. If that isn't enough, you get Isaiah Pacheco breathing down your neck. Okay, breathing isn't the right term to use. More angrily running you over until you're dust. The receiver friend besides Kelce, it's a committee. Rashee Rice is the most reliable one of the bunch. But Marquez Valdes-Scantling has come up clutch in big moments the last 2 games. There's also Justin Watson, Noah Gray, and Sky Moore to be looked at as depth. Also, perhaps Hugh shall not be mentioned. Whether he is really injured or not. Good lord. Behind what is still one of the strongest defensive lines in all of football, they still have the upside of a champion. But the real surprise has been in their defense. Steve Spagnuolo's unit has been the heartbeat of Kansas City, and their front four has been a catalyst. It suffered a serious blow with Charles Omenihu being out with a torn ACL. But when you still have Chris Jones wrecking shit, you don't need much else. Flanked by George Karlaftis, Michael Donna, and Derek Nottie, they will be a force for the real threat. Their pass defense, one of the best in football, and a nightmare for opposition everywhere. Their linebacking core, a balanced machine of Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, Leo Chenal, and Drew Tranquil. Their secondary, welcome to L'Jarius Sneed's Feed and Seed. A shutdown corner of shutdown corners. Only 1 touchdown surrendered all season. And Trent McDuffie doesn't get much easier to pass against. At safety, Justin Reed and Mike Edwards are back from last year, along with a chorus of depth pieces that will turn the tide. Do you remember when people felt Kansas City was an underdog? The likable bunch breathing fresh air into the NFL? Public perception can change on a dime. 4 years after their first ascension to the big dance in 50 years, only one word is at the tip of their tongue. Dynasty. 4 Super Bowl appearances in 5 seasons with potentially 3 titles to show for it? You're reaching that territory now. The chance to be spoken about as the team of the decade. Just like the Patriots that had lorded over the AFC before. All you're hearing now are the grumblings of fans having to watch Taylor Swift for 5 seconds at a time in a suite. The NFL is salivating at the money they'll print. The Chiefs have emerged as the new villain of the league. And they should embrace that mantra. Remember the decades of failure and futility before this moment? Take every victory you can. You've more than earned it. And you never know how long it's going to last. But before they even consider that option, they'll have to get through a foe they've once bested. It's been a long road for the Niners. Since their gut-punching loss to these Chiefs in 2020, they've suffered setback after setback. COVID year had them devastated by injury to the entire organization, including their home stadium. 2021 had them go on a magical run, but were devastated by their inferior brethren down in LA. 2022 was their best shot despite the endless injuries. It's undone by both quarterbacks suffering injuries against the Eagles. Every chance undone thanks to elements mostly out of their control. But even then, expectations were sky high for San Francisco this year. It was their all-in push. Every weapon at their disposal, the best of the best at nearly every position. Their regular season was domination on a grand scale. For the most part. Injuries to Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams led them on a 3-game losing streak.
Yep.
But they got back to dominating. For the most part. Even for their incredible talents, they've been dancing through an insane amount of raindrops this postseason. They had to come back to barely beat Green Bay, a team they should have thoroughly crushed on paper.
Facts.
And then Detroit. It got ugly at first. Very ugly. Then fortunately they turned on the Jets, the Lions self-destructed, and the rest is history. It also means one thing. Kyle Shanahan was able to win from behind. That's been a sticking point of his. With a field general like Brock Purdy, it comes from unexpected sources. The future wasn't supposed to be him. Trey Lance was being groomed for the role. But in comes Mr. Irrelevant himself and takes control of their many weapons to Bledsoe him to oblivion. His role in the offense is nothing crazy. Keep it simple, minimize mistakes, take advantage of what defenses give him, and allow the skill players to shine. Those skill players. Oh my. When you start with Christian McCaffrey, things are good. The question when trading for him last year was, would he stay healthy? I'd say that answer's been a resounding yes. The solution was being free from Carolina. Behind him, Elijah Mitchell and the last great fullback in Kyle Juszczyk spell him off. God bless Kyle Juszczyk. That is all. Deebo Samuel should also be blessed. His rise in 2019 has remained unabated, as he's one of the major catalysts of this offense in so many ways. He's not the only receiving option either. Brendan Ayuk was looked at as a great option that needed his breakout, and he's more than certainly got it. There's also a little-known tight end named George Kittle who destroys worlds like Kelce does. He's pretty good in his own right, if I say so myself. We must discuss Trent Williams on the offensive line, though. He's the real key to this offense. When he's injured, the offense vanishes to nothing. That's not slighting the rest of their O-line, but it goes to show what Williams means to them. Their defense, meanwhile, has had some injuries, particularly to Talanoa Hufanga, but it's still a devastating unit. That defensive line, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, Chase Young, even Javon Kinlaw and Cleveland Farrell quality depth pieces for a line ready to crush all foes. But wait till you get to their inside linebacker core. Fred Warner is one of the best off-ball linebackers in the league by a country mile. A well-rounded monster hearkening to the days of Brooks and Urlacher. If you somehow get past him, Dre Greenlaw's just gonna deck you. See for yourself. There's one thing their secondary's great at, it's forcing turnovers. Remember Javarius Ward, Kansas City? He's the 49ers' main corner. After him, you've got Dylan Noor, Isaiah Oliver, Jair Brown, and Tashawn Gibson manning the fort. It's a truly mixed arsenal of hell for opponents. As you can see from the Niners, these chances aren't to be taken lightly. Figured after blowing it 4 years ago, a return to the Super Bowl was forthcoming. It hasn't been that easy. Things have most certainly gotten in the way. And they know that with the hounds of competition at their door, another shot isn't guaranteed. The last time these two teams met, it ended Andy Reid's long-standing title drought as a head coach. Perhaps it's Kyle Shanahan's turn. The ghosts of 28-3 have still not been slain. With the weapons at his disposal, this is his best chance to overcome that horrific demon. We now get the Super Bowl that roughly 90% of the football world hates. But it's a hate that both fan bases embrace. They are the ones at the top. They will flex on those that seethe. And all we'll see are Swifties that infest the gridiron.
Facts.
The championship matchup we deserve for our arrogance. When will we learn how to gatekeep this beautiful game? The thing with my jinxes is that they seem to curse only one team for the most part. Dallas suffered the most hilarious defeat in recent playoff history, while the Chiefs made it all the way to the dance. Honestly, trying to use logic and predicting things blows up in my face, so best to just go on vibes. On paper, San Francisco should win this game, but in reality, it's going to be the Chiefs that win. The reason why is simple. Because fuck you. It's perfect for this gut punch of a season. Then Taylor Swift reveals herself to be a hive demon and needs Travis Kelce to father their young. That oddly sounds about right.
So to you, Coach Reid, your entire organization, those incredible players behind us, you are Super Bowl champions again. Congratulations.
Alrighty, so that's gonna be it. The Super Bowl is this weekend. Who I got for the Super Bowl this year? I don't care for either team. I really don't. But if I had to choose, I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I want to see the 49ers win the championship. The Kansas City Chiefs, they can win a championship any other year they want. I really would like for San Francisco to win one just because they deserve one. It's been a while since we've seen the 49ers as champions, you know. So, yeah. I'm going with the 49ers for this one. Let me know who y'all going with in the comment section below. I'll get back to you till then. Peace out. Anybody but the goddamn Packers.